What's good YouTube, it's your boy MVT and welcome back to the What MVT Thinks channel, where we talk about everything movie and TV shows related. Now in today's video guys, we're going to be talking about Power and more importantly why Ghost is still alive in Power. In today's video I'm going to be making the case, talking about all of the main reasons as to why he's still alive, some of the fan theories and stuff like that as well. Don't worry, this is going to be a non-biased opinion video. I will be making a separate video where I go over all of the reasons as to why he is dead, and that video will be titled Why Ghost is Actually Dead in Power. So I'm going to be making a case for both sides, why he's alive and why he's dead. If it sounds interesting, make sure you guys stick around. Now, as I'm pretty sure you guys can tell, this is a new YouTube channel. So if you guys do like the sound of what I'm trying to achieve here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and do support what I'm trying to do, as it will really help me out. But without further ado guys, let's dive straight into the video. So the first point which I'm going to be talking about, and one of the most obvious points as to why Ghost is alive in Power, is the fact that the Star's YouTube channel hasn't posted a mini montage or any video that is titled RIP Ghost. Now they actually do this for every character that dies in Power. They've done one for Joseph Proctor, they've done one for Dre, they've done one for Angela, Spanky, Terry Silver, and the list just goes on. Literally anyone that's died within the world of Power, they've done a RIP video for, except for Ghost / James St. Patrick. And this obviously is a big deal. He is the biggest actor / character in the show. The show pretty much revolves around him and Tommy, so why wouldn't we see a RIP Ghost mini montage to, you know, send him a nice farewell? To me, that is a very big clue, and it just shows that they're either leaving it open for him to come back in the future for whatever reason, or they're just teasing us and they just don't want, you know, that question to be answered, and they want people to just ask that question for as long as the Power universe continues, whether that be book 2, book 3, book 4 or whatever. Now moving on to point number 2. Now this point is actually really interesting, and this point is that no one actually ID'd the body of Ghost / James St. Patrick. The last time we actually saw the body of Ghost / James St. Patrick was when he was lying on the floor in Truth, with obviously the bullet hole in his chest. That's the last time anyone saw his body or actually saw him himself. Now what's kind of strange is that no one went to ID the body. When KANAN died, we saw Ghost and Tommy go to ID KANAN's body, and also other times in the Power universe we've seen people go to view bodies to obviously confirm that they are dead. This was not the case for Ghost. Also, we never got to see the body at the funeral as well, because at the funeral he had a closed casket, which is also another big question mark. Why is his casket closed? He wasn't shot in the head, nothing was wrong with his face, he got shot in the chest. Therefore, he should have an open casket. Now the fact that we have had no explanation as to why we haven't seen his body, or why no one has ID'd the body, and also why he had a closed casket at his funeral, has led to a lot of people making the theory that obviously he wasn't in the casket to begin with, and that his body got switched out long before. Now moving on to point 3. Now point 3 is actually the fact that Courtney Kemp, who is the writer and producer of the show, she actually got asked in an interview, is Ghost dead or alive? Now her response, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you that love Power probably have heard already, her response, and I quote, was actually, "In the world of Power, anything can happen." Now for me, that's a kind of, it's a wishy-washy sort of response. That's the type of answer that you give when you just don't want to give the solid answer. She clearly doesn't want to give a solid yes or no, so she's just going to give an answer that kind of leaves it in the air and lets everyone's imagination run wild. And I think that's what she's done, and I feel like she's almost done that on purpose, to kind of give a little bit more hype and to, you know, give fans a little bit more to talk about when it comes to the world of Power. This does kind of indicate though that Ghost might not be dead, because at the end of the day, if he was dead, why would she not just say, yes, Ghost is dead, that's the end of Ghost, and we will not be seeing him again? She said, in the world of Power, anything can happen. Now, does that mean that Ghost might be reborn within Tariq? Maybe. Does it mean that Ghost himself, James St. Patrick, will return? I personally believe that it's definitely a possibility, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. When it comes to TV shows and films, there's not a lot that shocks me these days. There's so many twists and turns within shows that this wouldn't shock me as much as if he actually was alive. I feel like they would do that, and they would leave a huge cliffhanger to try and hype up the world of Power, as I've said already. But let's just talk about something real quick. Let's be honest, guys. Ghost has always been steps ahead of everyone throughout the whole series of Power. He knew that he was a wanted man. He knew that people wanted him dead. Let's just think about who wanted him dead for a moment. So we had Rashad Tate, who wanted him dead. Tasha wanted him dead. Tariq wanted him dead. Paz wanted him dead, and also Tommy wanted him dead up to a stage where, until obviously Tommy realized that Ghost didn't do half the things that he thought he did, and then kind of regretted the fact that he obviously tried to get him killed as well. So Ghost has obviously known, and he has provoked people to the point where he knows that these people want to kill him. He knows this. He's always been steps ahead of everyone at every point of the show. So what makes us think that he's not going to be one step ahead at this particular point? Now, I think it's safe to say that he would have easily have been able to find the gun that Tariq left upon doing an end of day inspection whilst he was shutting down and closing off all the lights. And then he would easily have realized that, you know, someone's put this gun here and they're probably coming to kill me. That's why after he shut off all the lights, instead of leaving Truth, he's standing on the balcony just simply waiting for someone to arrive. No one can tell me that he's not waiting for someone in that scene. There's no way. He's literally standing there waiting for someone in his suit. Otherwise, he would have turned off the lights, put on his jacket and left Truth. It's just that simple, guys. He was clearly waiting for someone. He knew someone was coming for him, and he knew someone was coming to kill him. If Ghost knew all of that, I feel like it's safe to say that he would have had a master plan in place already. And that master plan would obviously be to fake his death. And that's where all the fan theories come in as to why everyone believes Ghost might be alive, because everyone believes that he might have found the gun and he might have replaced the gun with fake bullets or non-deadly bullets, non-lethal bullets, which Tariq obviously then picked up to use and didn't realize that he killed him, or he shot him with the gun that he actually didn't hide in the first place, but rather the gun that Ghost switched out. I kind of believe that theory, but there are some other theories which do make a bit more sense to me. Now, I'm going to be breaking down one part of this which I think is really important for everyone to notice. So if you guys go back to the end of season 6, I think it's the last 4 or 5 episodes, they are doing point of view episodes where we get to see everyone's point of view. So there was an episode for Tommy where we saw everything that happened in his day, in his point of view. We saw one for Tariq, we saw one for Tate, and etc, etc. Now, when Tommy actually enters Truth and he sees Ghost laying on the floor and he runs over to Ghost, if you look closely, there's not actually a pool of blood around Ghost as he's on the floor, which is actually really strange. If you've been shot in a deadly position like the middle of your chest, very close to your heart, there is going to be a lot of blood, I promise you, and that is a fact. He also fell off the balcony, which means blood would have splattered everywhere and there would have been blood literally everywhere. He would easily have been in a pool of blood, but the only blood we see from Tommy's point of view is the blood splatter, or the blood that's on his shirt, on his chest. Now, if you guys actually go to, I think it's episode 15, where it's actually Tariq's point of view, you guys will see that it looks like Ghost, or he actually is laying in a pool of blood. Now, this could be a production error, this could be a filming error, but I personally don't believe it is, because in the scene just before that, if you guys remember, in Tariq's point of view, he actually sees Kanan. Kanan's obviously telling him that he can't let his mum go through this, and obviously he can't be a bitch, he can't let his mum go to jail for killing his dad, and if he wants to do it, he's gonna have to be a man and do it himself, basically provoking him and forcing him to go ahead and kill his dad, who is obviously Ghost / James St. Patrick. But this is a really important point of the episode, because not a lot of people realize that this is all Tariq's point of view. And why this is important is because it's showing us that Tariq right now is seeing whatever he wants to see. We know that Kanan is dead, so Kanan is not actually there. What Tariq is seeing is whatever he wants to see. It's in his brain. So when we see Ghost on the floor in a pool of blood, that's not a production error, because we didn't see it in Tommy's perspective. That is Tariq seeing exactly what he wants to see, the same way he saw Kanan. And that's why I believe that this is a vital point in the episode, and I believe that this is a big clue as to why Ghost is still alive. Now, moving on to our next point, let's not forget that Tommy and Ghost had a little ambulance business going on to obviously move their drugs around the city. Now, what is a big clue which kind of goes tie and tie with this is the fact that when Tariq actually leaves the back of the building after shooting Ghost and obviously changing his clothes and having a mini breakdown down in the bathroom. When he walks to the front of the building where Truth is, he actually sees an ambulance driving off. I don't know if he sees it himself, but there's an ambulance driving off from Truth. Now that could have only been an ambulance for one thing. It could have only been an ambulance for Ghost, which means Ghost's body got moved literally straight away. Which means there could be a big possibility that he had got that plan in place with someone to move him as soon as possible from the crime scene, so that his body can not, one, be ID'd, and two, obviously Tariq don't get to see his dad being carried to the ambulance, so he can't confirm. The last time Tariq saw his dad was when he shot him, and he was obviously in Tommy's arms lying on the floor. Now another point which I want to speak about, which could indicate that Ghost is alive, is referring to the will. So if you guys remember with the will where everything got distributed, Tommy actually got given his own car back by Ghost, which obviously was repaired from that time that Ghost tried to get him killed, and he also left him an envelope. We don't get to see what's inside that envelope. No one knows what's inside that envelope, but it more than likely is a message to Tommy from Ghost regarding something. It could be the master plan. He could be telling Tommy to go to Cali or leave the area so that no one's around Tariq for distractions, because obviously his whole plan was to make Tariq go to school. That's all he's ever wanted from the start. He wanted Tariq to have a good education and not to follow in his footsteps and lead the street life. So he wants Tariq to not be around bad influence. He wants Tariq to go to school, and he's done this purposely by obviously leaving all the money in Tariq's name, but giving him that clause of you can't get this money until you graduate. So even whilst Ghost is not there, he's still controlling Tariq, and he's still making Tariq do what he wanted him to do in the first place, which means at the end of the day, Ghost always wins. James St. Patrick always wins. But why this is a clue is simply because at the end of that episode, when Tommy is riding off into Cali, he's got a big smirk on his face. And in my opinion, if your best friend, literally from childhood, someone that you class as your brother, literally your co-D, is dead, why would you have a smirk on your face? To me, he knows a lot more than we do, and there is a master plan going on, and that's honestly what I believe. But again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Now this video has dragged on a little bit longer than I expected, so I'm gonna cut this here, but I do have a part 2. I will be dropping right now just some quick little thoughts and a few more points as to why I believe that he could be alive. We could quickly talk about Ramona. She was last being seen talking to him inside Truth, and then we didn't actually see her again after that. We didn't see her at the funeral or anything like that. We only saw her for a quick scene at the end of the series talking to Rashad. So a lot of people do believe that Ramona could be hiding out with James, and that she was part of the master plan, which I personally could see happening, but it could be a little bit far-fetched. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But as a whole, guys, I would say that Ghost orchestrated a master plan. He's way too intelligent to let his son outsmart him. If you guys think about it, he knows exactly what Tariq is thinking at the age that Tariq is thinking it. He's done everything that Tariq has done, and he's done way more. He was more advanced at the age that Tariq was, so he knows what Tariq would be thinking and how Tariq's mind might be moving. And even with the conversations that he's had with Tariq and some of the things that Tariq has said to him personally, he could easily tell that Tariq wants him dead or wants to do some harm to him. So he could easily see that coming from a mile away and set a plan in place to obviously let Tariq think he's winning, but really he's losing, which comes back to the famous quote of never interrupt your enemy whilst they're making a mistake. Tariq has made a mistake by thinking he's won. Ghost is going to allow him to make that mistake and pop up on him at another point in the series, whether that be book 2, book 3, book 4 or book 5. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. As I said, I will be having a part 2 for why Ghost is still alive, because honestly guys, there's so many points to cover. And as I said, I will be making the case for why Ghost is actually dead. I will be making a whole separate video on that. So if it sounds interesting and you guys did like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. Been your boy MVT Thinks. I'm out. Peace.